Imagine this. A royal couple beloved by millions steps away from the crown to start a new life. But behind the polished image, something doesn't add up. Birth certificates, the foundation of legal identity, are raising questions that no one in the palace wants to answer. Why did Meghan Markle erase her full name from her son's record? Why does Prince Harry's title, not his legal name, appear on his daughter's? And why are whispers of a Colorado surrogate growing louder by the day? This isn't just gossip. It's a story of legal ambiguities, potential cover-ups, and a family narrative that could shake the monarchy. Today, we're diving into the strange details surrounding Meghan and Harry's children, Archie and Lilibet. From altered documents to unverified health claims, the evidence points to a truth the public hasn't been told. Buckle up as we unravel a mystery that could change how you see this royal saga forever. Stay with us because what you're about to hear might leave you questioning everything. Let's get started. Meghan Markle and Prince Harry, the Duke and Duchess of Sussex, captivated the world when they stepped back from royal duties in 2020, promising a fresh start in America. Their children, Archie Harrison Mountbatten Windsor, born in 2019, and Lilibet Diana Mountbatten Windsor, born in 2021, became symbols of their new independent life. But beneath the fairy tale narrative, cracks are forming. It all begins with their birth certificates, documents meant to be straightforward but now clouded with inconsistencies. In the UK, birth certificates are standardized, listing parents' full legal names for clarity and legal weight. Yet Archie's certificate took an unusual turn. Meghan-born Rachel Meghan Markle chose to list herself only as Her Royal Highness the Duchess of Sussex. No maiden name, no personal identity, just a title. 11 days later, she corrected it, adding her full name, a move that sparked curiosity. Why change it at all? Fast forward to Lilibet, reportedly born in California. Her certificate raises even bigger questions. Instead of Prince Harry's legal name, Henry Charles Albert David, it lists him as His Royal Highness the Duke of Sussex. In the US, titles hold no legal value. This choice could weaken Harry's parental rights, leaving him vulnerable in legal matters like custody or inheritance. Adding to the intrigue, rumors suggest Lilibet's birth may have occurred in Colorado, not California, where surrogacy laws are more flexible. Colorado allows intended parents' names on birth certificates without listing a surrogate, unlike California's stricter rules. These discrepancies aren't just clerical errors. They point to a pattern of ambiguity that could affect the children's legal standing and the couple's credibility. Public fascination with the Sussexes, paired with their high-profile exit from royal life, makes these questions impossible to ignore. Are they protecting their privacy or hiding something deeper? Let's set the stage for what's to come as we dig into the evidence and what it all means. The heart of this mystery lies in the birth certificates of Archie and Lilibet, documents that should be routine, but instead raise alarming questions about legal intent and transparency. Let's start with Archie, born May 6, 2019 in the UK. His birth certificate initially listed Meghan as Her Royal Highness the Duchess of Sussex, omitting her full legal name, Rachel Meghan Markle. This is highly unusual. Every royal birth certificate from Queen Elizabeth to Princess Charlotte includes the mother's maiden name for legal clarity. Meghan's choice to use only her title broke this tradition. 11 days later, the document was corrected to include her full name. This wasn't a simple update. It was a legal correction suggesting something was wrong enough to require official action. Why remove her identity in the first place? Was it a bid for privacy, a stylistic choice, or something more calculated? The palace stayed silent, but the move fueled speculation that Meghan might have been distancing herself from the document's legal weight. Now let's turn to Lilibet, born June 4, 2021, supposedly in California. Her birth certificate is even more perplexing. Prince Harry's legal name, Henry Charles Albert David, is absent. Instead, it lists him as His Royal Highness the Duke of Sussex. In the US, titles are meaningless in legal contexts. Birth certificates are critical for establishing citizenship, custody, and inheritance rights. Without his legal name, Harry's parental status could be legally questionable. If a court case arose, say over custody, Harry might struggle to prove his rights without proper documentation. Meghan, however, used her full legal name on Lilibet's certificate, securing her own standing. The contrast between Archie's and Lilibet's records is striking. One omits the mother's name, the other the father's. This inconsistency feels deliberate, almost as if each parent is tied to one child but not both. Then there's the surrogacy angle. Rumors have swirled that Lilibet may have been born via surrogate in Colorado, not California. Colorado's surrogacy laws are notably flexible, allowing intended parents' names to appear on birth certificates without mentioning a surrogate. California, by contrast, often requires the surrogate's name on initial documents. Sources claim a 23-year-old woman in Colorado gave birth around Lilibet's official birth date, bound by strict non-disclosure agreements. This aligns suspiciously with the certificate's irregularities. If true, it could explain why Harry's legal name was omitted, perhaps to obscure the surrogacy arrangement. The absence of a full certified California birth certificate for Lilibet, with only a preliminary certificate of live birth circulating, adds fuel to the fire. These preliminary documents issued by hospitals aren't final legal records. Why hasn't the official version surfaced? Meghan's health claims further muddy the waters. She spoke publicly about suffering postpartum preeclampsia, a life-threatening condition after Lilibet's birth. This typically requires extended hospital stays and strict medical oversight. Yet around the time of Lilibet's birth, Meghan was spotted in public showing no signs of recovery protocols. Meanwhile, Harry was photographed playing polo in Aspen, Colorado just weeks later, appearing carefree. Would a couple dealing with a near-fatal childbirth complication be so casual? So soon the timeline doesn't add up? Some speculate Meghan's health story was exaggerated to deflect questions about the birth circumstances. The legal implications are staggering. If Harry's name isn't legally tied to Lilibet, he could be considered a legal stranger in U.S. courts, with no automatic rights to custody or decision-making. Meghan's full name on the certificate ensures her legal claim, but Harry's reliance on a title leaves him exposed. For Archie, Meghan's initial omission of her name could similarly weaken her legal standing in the UK if not corrected. These choices create a pattern of ambiguity, as if the documents were crafted to limit one parent's claim over each child. Why would a couple, especially one so public, risk such legal vulnerabilities unless they were hiding something? Hold on. Let's pause for a second. These aren't just paperwork errors. We're talking about the legal identities of children in the line of succession to the British throne. If something's off here, it's not just a family matter. It could ripple through the monarchy itself. What's really going on behind these documents? Let's dive deeper into the motives and what they mean for everyone involved. The irregularities in Archie and Lilibet's birth certificates point to more than just oversight. They suggest a deliberate strategy with far-reaching implications. Let's break down the motives, stakeholders, and potential fallout. First, consider Meghan and Harry's unique position. As former senior royals who left the monarchy in 2020, they've built a brand on transparency and independence. Yet their handling of their children's legal documents contradicts this image. Meghan's decision to omit her full name from Archie's UK birth certificate only to correct it 11 days later raises questions about intent. Was it a power move to assert her royal title over her personal identity? Or was it a calculated step to create legal distance, perhaps in anticipation of future disputes? In the UK, a mother's maiden name ensures clarity for inheritance and succession rights. By initially erasing hers, Meghan risked complicating Archie's legal standing in the royal line, a move the palace would likely notice. Her claim that the palace forced the change is curious. Why would they demand her identity be removed only to allow its reinstatement? The lack of clarity fuels suspicion of a deeper agenda. Lilibet's certificate is even more troubling. Harry's use of his royal title instead of his legal name, Henry Charles Albert David, on a U.S. birth certificate is a legal misstep. In American law, titles carry no weight. Without his legal name, Harry's parental rights could be challenged in court, especially in a custody dispute or inheritance claim. Meghan, by contrast, secured her legal position by using her full name. This asymmetry suggests a power imbalance. If the couple were to divorce, Meghan could hold stronger legal claim over Lilibet, while Harry's status remained shaky. The choice to file such a document seems less like ignorance and more like a strategic hedge, possibly to protect Meghan's interests in a worst-case scenario. The surrogacy rumors add another layer. Colorado's lenient laws, which allow intended parents to be listed without mentioning a surrogate, align with the theory that Lilibet was born there, not California. If true, this could explain the certificate's irregularities and the absence of a full certified document. A surrogate birth would require careful legal navigation to ensure Harry and Meghan's names appeared as parents, but using Harry's title undermines this. Was it a deliberate choice to obscure the surrogacy, or a mistake that exposes it? The rumored 23-year-old Colorado surrogate, bound by NS, adds credibility to this theory. Her anonymity, protected by Colorado law, would make it nearly impossible to confirm without a leak. The couple's silence on these rumors only amplifies speculation. Meghan's preeclampsia claim also deserves scrutiny. This condition, as she described in her podcast, is life-threatening, often requiring prolonged medical care. Yet her public appearances shortly after Lilibet's birth showed no signs of recovery protocols. Harry's polo outing in Colorado weeks later further strains credulity. A couple recovering from such a health scare wouldn't likely be so publicly active. This discrepancy suggests the health narrative may have been crafted to deflect questions about Lilibet's birth circumstances, possibly to conceal a surrogacy arrangement. The absence of a full California birth certificate, with only a certificate of live birth released, supports this. Preliminary documents like these are common in surrogacy cases where final records take time to process. The stakeholders here extend beyond Harry and Meghan. The royal family has a vested interest in the line of succession. Archie and Lilibet, 6th and 7th in line, are part of the monarchy's future. Any ambiguity in their legal documentation could complicate their eligibility or spark public distrust. The palace's silence on these issues suggests either complicity or deliberate distance, perhaps to avoid validating the Sussexes' narrative. The public, too, is a stakeholder. Fans and critics alike follow every move, and these discrepancies feed a narrative of secrecy that undermines the couple's credibility. If surrogacy or legal manipulations are confirmed, it could alienate supporters who value their authenticity. The legal risks are profound. In the U.S., Harry's lack of legal name on Lilibet's certificate could bar him from custody or decision-making rights in a crisis. In the UK, Meghan's initial omission on Archie's certificate could have invited challenges to her parental status, though the correction mitigates this. These choices create a patchwork of legal vulnerabilities, as if each parent is securing their claim to one child while leaving the other exposed. This could be a precaution against divorce, a safeguard for inheritance disputes, or a way to obscure unconventional birth circumstances. But what if this goes beyond paperwork? What if these choices hint at a bigger secret one that could redefine the Sussexes' story and their place in the royal legacy? Let's explore the broader context and what history tells us about scandals like this. The peculiarities surrounding Archie and Lilibet's birth certificates don't exist in a vacuum. They echo historical patterns of royal secrecy and public scrutiny, while also reflecting modern legal and cultural shifts. The British monarchy has long navigated controversies over lineage and legitimacy. In the 18th century, rumors swirled about the parentage of Princess Charlotte of Wales, with whispers of illegitimacy threatening her claim to the throne. Similarly, in the 20th century, speculation about the paternity of certain royals fueled tabloid headlines, though never substantiated. What sets the Sussexes' case apart is the public nature of their departure from royal life and the legal transparency expected in modern times. Unlike past royals, Harry and Meghan operate in a global media spotlight, where every document and decision is dissected. Their choice to leave the monarchy in 2020, citing privacy and independence, makes the opacity of their children's records all the more conspicuous. Birth certificate controversies aren't unique to royalty. In the U.S., high-profile figures like politicians and celebrities have faced scrutiny over documentation errors. For example, former President Barack Obama's birth certificate, sparked years of debate with critics questioning its authenticity to challenge his citizenship. While the contexts differ, the Sussexes' case mirrors this. Small discrepancies in official records can ignite widespread distrust. The decision to list Harry's title instead of his legal name on Lilibet's certificate, for instance, parallels cases where public figures have used aliases or incomplete information only to face legal hurdles later. In 2018, a California court invalidated a birth certificate for a celebrity couple who listed a stage name, forcing a costly amendment process. Harry's title-based listing could trigger similar issues, especially in legal disputes over custody or inheritance. The surrogacy angle ties into broader societal trends. Surrogacy has become more common among high-profile individuals, with stars like Kim Kardashian and Elton John openly using surrogate. Yet the legal landscape varies widely. Colorado's flexible laws, which allow intended parents to be named without listing the surrogate, contrast with California's stricter requirements, where surrogates often appear on initial documents. This difference could explain why Lilibet's birth is linked to Colorado rather than California. Globally, surrogacy remains a sensitive topic. In the UK, commercial surrogacy is illegal, and public perception can be harsh, which might explain the couple's reticence if a surrogate was involved. The monarchy's conservative image could make such a revelation contentious, especially for children in the line of succession. Culturally, the Sussexes' story reflects a clash between tradition and modernity. The royal family operates under centuries-old protocols where titles and lineage are paramount. Meghan, an American with a Hollywood background, brings a different perspective, prioritizing personal branding and privacy. Her decision to omit her maiden name from Archie's certificate, only to reinstate it, suggests a tension between embracing her royal title and asserting her individual identity. Harry's use of his title on Lilibet's certificate, meanwhile, may reflect a reliance on royal privilege that doesn't translate in the U.S. legal system. This disconnect highlights the challenges of straddling two worlds, the rigid structure of monarchy and the fluid merit-based culture of America. Regionally, the implications vary. In the UK, the public and media are hyper-focused on the monarchy's integrity. Any hint of irregularity in Archie and Lilibet's documentation could fuel calls for their removal from the line of succession, especially among traditionalists already skeptical of the Sussexes. In the US, the focus is less on royal protocol and more on legal accountability. If Harry lacks documented parental rights over Lilibet, it could complicate matters like citizenship or inheritance, particularly if Meghan retains sole legal claim. Globally, the story feeds into a narrative of distrust in elite institutions. The Sussexes' fans may see this as a privacy issue, while critics view it as evidence of manipulation, amplifying polarized reactions. Historically, royal scandals often resolve quietly, with the palace exerting influence to suppress fallout. But Harry and Meghan's independence limits this control. Their public platform through podcasts, interviews, and Netflix deals means any revelation could become a media firestorm. If surrogacy or legal ambiguities are confirmed, it could parallel the 1990s media frenzy over Princess Diana's revelations, which reshaped public perception of the monarchy. The difference now is the internet, where X posts and online forums amplify speculation faster than traditional outlets. Recent X discussions, for instance, have highlighted the Colorado surrogacy rumor, with users citing unnamed sources close to the couple. While unverified, these posts reflect a growing public appetite for answers. Picture this: a father, a prince potentially cut off from his own daughter's legal identity. A mother crafting a narrative that doesn't quite fit the facts. This isn't just about paperwork, it's about family trust and the weight of a global legacy. What happens if the truth breaks open? Let's look at the possible futures this story could lead to. The discrepancies in Archie and Lilibet's birth certificates could lead to several potential outcomes, each with significant consequences for Meghan, Harry, their children, and the broader royal narrative. Let's explore these scenarios, their likelihood, and what they mean for the future, while highlighting key developments to watch. Scenario 1: legal challenges surface. If the irregularities in the birth certificates, Harry's title on Lilibet's, and Meghan's initial omission on Archie's are not corrected, they could trigger legal complications. In the US, Harry's lack of legal name on Lilibet's certificate could undermine his parental rights. In a hypothetical divorce or custody dispute, Meghan's full legal name on the document gives her a stronger claim. Courts prioritize documented evidence, and Harry's title offers no legal standing. Similarly, in the UK, any lingering ambiguity around Archie's corrected certificate could complicate his status in the line of succession. A challenge from within the royal family or a legal authority could question the children's eligibility, especially if succession becomes a flashpoint after King Charles' reign. This scenario is plausible if the couple faces personal or legal turmoil, such as a high-profile separation. Watch for any filings to amend the Lilibet certificate or public statements addressing the discrepancies. A sudden release of a full certified California birth certificate for Lilibet would signal an attempt to preempt legal scrutiny. Scenario 2: Surrogacy confirmation. If the Colorado surrogacy rumors are true, a leak or confirmation could reshape the narrative. A whistleblower, perhaps the rumored 23-year-old surrogate or a medical professional, could break their NDA, revealing Lilibet was born via surrogacy. This would explain the Colorado connection, the certificate's irregularities, and Meghan's questionable preeclampsia story. Public reaction would be polarized. Supporters might praise the couple's privacy efforts, while critics, especially in the UK, could argue it undermines the monarchy's transparency. The royal family might distance itself further, potentially pressuring Harry to clarify the children's status in the succession line. This scenario's likelihood depends on the strength of endas and the couple's ability to control the narrative. Keep an eye on X posts or investigative reports mentioning Colorado medical records or surrogate testimonies. A sudden spike in such chatter could indicate a looming revelation. Scenario 3: Palace intervention. The royal family could intervene to protect the monarchy's image. If the palace perceives the birth certificate issues as a threat to the line of succession, it might demand clarification or even push for Archie and Lilibet's removal from the line. This would be a drastic move, likely reserved for a major scandal such as confirmed surrogacy or proof of deliberate legal manipulation. Historically, the monarchy has managed crises discreetly, as seen with Edward VIII's abdication in 1936. However, Harry and Meghan's independence limits the palace's leverage. A public statement from Buckingham Palace addressing the children's status would signal this scenario unfolding. Monitor royal communications for subtle hints like references to clarity in succession or increased scrutiny of the Sussexes' public activities. Scenario 4: Public backlash and media frenzy. If the full truth, whether surrogacy, legal errors, or intentional ambiguity, emerges, the media and public response could be explosive. In the UK, traditionalists might demand accountability, viewing the irregularities as a betrayal of royal protocol. In the US, the focus would likely center on Harry's vulnerable legal position and Meghan's health narrative inconsistencies. Social media platforms like X would amplify speculation with hashtags like royal birth scandal trending. The Sussexes' brand built on authenticity could take a hit if fans feel misled. Conversely, their supporters might rally, framing the couple as victims of invasive scrutiny. This scenario is highly likely given the public's fascination with royal drama and the internet's ability to magnify leaks. Watch for sudden surges in X posts analyzing the birth certificates or new media exposes digging into Colorado surrogacy laws. Scenario 5: Status quo persists. The least dramatic outcome is that nothing changes. The Sussexes maintain silence, the palace avoids comment, and the public moves on. The birth certificate issues remain a niche controversy among royal watchers, with no legal or royal action taken. This is possible if no new evidence surfaces and the couple's legal team ensures the documents hold up under scrutiny. However, this scenario risks lingering distrust, as unanswered questions could resurface during future milestones like Archie and Lilibet's schooling or inheritance dispute. Track whether the couple avoids addressing the certificates in interviews, or if they quietly file amendments to quell speculation. What to watch: monitor legal filings in California or Colorado for amendments to Lilibet's birth certificate. Check X for posts from credible royal commentators or leaks mentioning surrogacy details. Watch Meghan and Harry's public appearances for defensive or evasive language about their children's births. Finally, note any palace statements on succession or the Sussexes' status, as these could hint at behind-the-scenes pressure. The truth, whether mundane or monumental, will likely emerge through a combination of legal documents, media leaks, or public missteps. Thousands are already discussing this on X, with users like @RoyalTruthSeeker and @MonarchyWatch pointing to the Colorado connection and Harry's legal vulnerability. The conversation is growing and the world is watching. What does this mean for the Sussexes' future and the monarchy's legacy? Let's wrap this up with a look at the bigger picture and what you can do to stay informed. The story of Meghan Markle and Prince Harry's children, Archie and Lilibet, goes far beyond royal gossip. It's a tangled web of legal ambiguities, questionable documents, and whispers of surrogacy that could redefine their family's narrative and shake the foundations of the monarchy. From Meghan's unusual omission of her full name on Archie's UK birth certificate to Harry's title only listing on Lilibet's US record, these aren't just clerical errors, they hint at a deeper strategy. The possibility of a Colorado surrogate, Meghan's inconsistent health claims, and the absence of a full California birth certificate for Lilibet raise questions that demand answers. Are the Sussexes protecting their privacy or concealing something bigger? The implications are profound. Harry's legal standing as a father could be at risk, the children's place in the line of succession might be questioned, and the couple's public image could face a reckoning if the truth surfaces. This isn't just about one family. It's about trust, transparency, and the collision of royal tradition with modern realities. Whether it's a calculated move to secure legal leverage or an attempt to shield unconventional choices, the stakes are high. If surrogacy is confirmed or legal challenges arise, the fallout could rival the biggest royal scandals of the past century. For now, the silence from the Sussexes and the palace only fuels the fire, leaving the public to piece together the clues. So what's next? Keep your eyes on X for breaking updates. Users are already digging into Colorado records and royal documents. Watch for any legal filings or palace statements that might address these irregularities. And let us know what you think. Are Meghan and Harry hiding a major secret? Or is this just a storm in a teacup? Drop your thoughts in the comments, hit that like button if this story has you hooked, and subscribe for more deep dives into the stories the headlines won't touch. Next time, we're exploring another royal mystery that's been buried for decades. Stay tuned for that. Don't miss out, join the conversation, and let's uncover the truth together.